Hello friends, welcome to Educate 247. So we are back with our series on root words. So in this session we'll be covering the session 13 of the book Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. So like the previous session, I've divided session 13 into two parts. So in part 1 we'll be discussing the words, and in part 2 we'll actually try to solve some exercises to test our vocabulary built in session 13. So before we begin, if you haven't watched our sessions from 1 to 12, I request you to click on the link in the description and watch them first to get better clarity to session 13. And if you are new to our channel, I request you to click on the subscribe button and stay tuned with amazing MBA related content on our channel. Also, you could follow us on Facebook, Telegram, and you could join our MBA preparation group on Telegram, where we share articles or MBA preparation material. So you could avail it and start your preparation for CAT. Also, to boost your preparation, we have launched our CAT Booster 2020 program, which is a 360-degree mentorship program for CAT, a unique program in the market. So for a limited period of time, you could avail it at a discount of 1000 rupees. So let's begin with our session on root words. First we have is tome, which means a cutting. Next we have is sectors, which means cut. Next is centron or even centrium, which means center. Next is logos, which means word. Next is lingua, which means tongue. Next we have is philin, means to love. Next is sophos, means wise. Then we have adelphos, which means brother. Biblion means book. Socius means companion. So these are the words, the 14 words which will be based on those root words. Even some words might be deviating from the meaning of root words in some cases, so you'll see that also. So first word here is bibliophile. So bibliophile, if you see, there are two words, biblion and phile. So bibliophile, so biblion was book and phile was to love something, fill in. So it will be obviously be someone who loves books. So a person who collects or has great love for books will be termed as bibliophile. Next word is eccentricity. So E generally measures the knot, and centricity, centrium, center, centricity is relating to circle, I could say. So someone which is not circular will be termed as eccentric. So eccentricity shows you how much uncircular the curve is. So even in the picture you could see here, it's actually measuring how the curve is, so by what deviation is curve not being circular. So that is measured. So it's the eccentricity of that curve. Next is atom. Atom, we all know it's the smallest particle. The smallest particle of a chemical element that exists is atom. Even in the picture you could see that. Next is anatomy. So anatomy again is a familiar word. So we have human anatomy. So it basically refers to the internal working of something. So you see, a study of structure or internal working of something will be termed as anatomy. So here you could see this is the human anatomy here. Next we have is dichotomy. So what is dichotomy? So dichotomy basically means a division or a contrast between two things which are generally opposite or entirely different. So you could see here in the picture, it's actually showing how one side the tree is growing in white side and other it's dark side. So it's showing contrast between two things. So that will be something which shows contrast between two things will be termed as dichotomy. Next is epitome. Epitome generally means a example or something which is perfect example, I could say. So better I could say this as perfect example. So epitome is a person or a thing which is perfect example of a particular quality or type. So you could see here the epitome was a good student. So you could see this basketball player is shown as a perfect example to it. Next we have is philology. So philology is, we have discussed this word, philology was love for language. So philology is a branch of knowledge that deals with structure, historic development, and relationship between languages so it's a study of language. So you could see even in the picture, this studying certain language will be called as philology. Next, linguistic, which is a linguist is relating to tongue. So we had this word lingua, which was tongue. So linguistic will be relating to the language. So scientific study of languages and its structures, including the study of grammar. So it will be termed as, even syntax and phonetics will be termed as linguistics. Next is philanthropy. So philanthropy, again we had studied this word in our earlier sessions, session 2. So philanthropy was someone who donates or is a looks for the welfare, would be termed as a philanthropist. So philanthropy is welfare through donations. So the desire to promote the welfare for others and express specially by generous donation of money for good causes will be termed as philanthropy. Next we have philander. So philander is something different. So here it's readily or frequently getting into relationships with women. And in similar terms, we have a word named aphrodisiac, which means a food, drink, or other thing that stimulates your desire would be termed as a aphrodisiac. So let's move on to the next word now. Next is semantic. So semantic will be relating to the meaning in language or logic would be termed as semantic. So here you could see a relation is being developed between the web language. So it's the semantic web here. So we are actually trying to relate the meaning and develop logics, like you develop grammar and try to understand things and how it's going to frame. So it is the semantic way to learn something. So we are developing a logic in learning the language. Next we have sociology. So sociology is socius, which means so society it refers to. So the study of society would be termed as sociology. So study of development, structure and functioning of human society will be termed as sociology. And the final word is asocial. So a means not, and social again is society. So someone who stays away from society would be termed as social. So this is also a word which had come previously and discussed many times. So there were two words. One was antisocial and one is asocial. So asocial is basically an introvert kind of guy who doesn't mix with others. And antisocial is someone who works towards the destruction or disruption towards the society. So this is the basic difference between these two words. So asocial is avoiding social interactions and inconsiderate of hostile to others. So you could see here, this guy is asocial, so he's sitting away from these people who are together. So with this, we have completed the session 13 part 1. I hope you have understood all 14 words in this session. So if you even have any doubts, you could just put it in the comment section. And also in the next part, we'll be coming up with the practice exercises so you'll get the better clarity and actually test your vocabulary based on these words. I hope you have loved this session, so you could just ping your suggestions or how your reviews in the comment section. Also, please don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our Educate 247 channel. Thank you and have a nice